Hi, and welcome back to my channel, exploring all things AI, but especially software development. Now, I've been trying to decide, is it better vibe coding, drinking coffee? That's really good. Or drinking Red Bull? Bit sweet. I can't decide. So let me know in the comments what you think. Now, in my previous videos, I've been vibe coding with Cursor. Now, Cursor is an open source version of VS Code. And the Cursor team really wanted to build AI directly into the IDE. But others have taken a different path and actually built VS Code extensions. The first and maybe the most famous one is GitHub's Copilot. Now, others have come onto the scene, notably Klein and then Roo Code. Now, both Klein and Roo Code are open source projects, which means they're free to use. You have to connect it to a model, and some models obviously charge, like Claude and Gemini. So what you have to do is you have to supply an API key, which you get from these providers. You put credit on your account and then you start paying. Now, there are obviously free models you can use, but one of the best services I think to use for this is something called OpenRouter, which is a service that gives you one API key. You can put credit on your account and then you can access over 300 models. And that seems like a pretty good idea to me. Now, before we carry on, let's get one thing clear here. It's OpenRouter and not router. Now, this is a router. It's used for making grooves in wood, whereas this is a wireless router, and it's used for connecting to the internet. Okay? On this channel, we're going to be using the King's English and not some bastardized version used in many countries around the world. I hope that's okay with you. And one more thing, it's data and not data. Anyway, let's get back into vibe coding. In this video, I'm actually going to use the VS Code extension Roo Code. Now, Roo Code is actually a fork of Klein, but it's got some very interesting features that I would like to go over. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So here I have VS Code, and I've actually got a new folder called Breakout Game, because I'm going to create the game Breakout. And I've already got Roo Code here as a VS Code extension, but let's just click on the extensions and you can see here Roo Code. Now, I've already set it up, but we can go through it because it takes a little bit of time to get going. And when you actually add it into your VS Code, you'll find there's a little kangaroo here that you can click on, and it takes you into the Roo Code. So let's just close this and let's go through it. Okay, so you find there's some icons up here. Now, this one is your settings for Roo Code. So let's click on this and see what we've got in here. Okay, and then there's a menu you see down the left-hand side. Now, first of all, here's your providers. Now, I'm using OpenRouter, as I said. You can just go in. It's openrouter.ai. Sign up. They'll give you an API key that I've already put in here, and you can put some credits on your account. Now, I've actually chosen the Gemini 2.5 Pro model. It's supposed to be very good, and it's quite reasonably priced. Now, if you click on this, you can see there's many, many models you can choose from. But I'm going to stick with Gemini. Now, this is a cool feature, is that you can create different configurations. Now, this is just the default configuration, but that means I can create further configurations that use different API keys or different models, which I thought was really nice. For some reason, it says does not support computer use. I have no idea what that means, but it also shows you the pricing of the model. And you'd be quite surprised to find out the different costs of models. Claude is actually quite expensive, about 3 times more for input tokens than Gemini. Now, there's some other stuff down here, but we don't go into it. Let's go down the side here. So auto-approve, this is really important. If you want to do real agentic programming, so you get the model to do most of the work for you, you need to give it access. So here I've given it read access, write access. Now actually Roo Code has a browser built into it, so that's good for testing, and it can execute commands. So you could just click on all of these if you want. And you can say whether it can read files outside the workspace, or you can even write files outside the workspace. And this is really important. This allows it to execute commands. And you might remember from my cursor videos, it had the same kind of thing. You could actually write all the commands that it can use. And so these are the ones that there was like, I think the first few here were in here by default, but I put npm, cd, make directory, ls, cp, and npx. And I think these are about all you need. So that's really important. This has stuff to do with the browser tool that it uses. I haven't changed that, and I think pretty much most of these things I haven't changed. Okay, so just use the stuff out the box. Okay, let's say done, discard changes. I haven't made any changes. Now this other thing is really important. This is the prompts. Now this is where Roo Code really kind of shines compared to other tools like Cursor. So there's different modes. It's got a coding mode where it's like a software developer, architect mode where it's basically architect, or you can just ask it questions or debug. So what you'll notice when you set it to a coder, first of all, you can pick that API configuration we looked at previously, which means you can tell it which model to use, because some models are better at coding than others, and some models are better at reasoning than others. And so if you want to architect, you might want to do reasoning rather than coding. So that's kind of a cool feature, but we've only got one API configuration there. Here's where it tells Roo Code what you are, because you're a coder. It says you're a highly skilled software engineer with extensive knowledge in many programming languages and stuff, which is kind of cool. So that was kind of right out the box. Now down here is some custom behaviors you can put in there. Now, this was actually empty when I started, and I tried to use it, and I found it kind of went off the rails a bit. So what I did is I went back to Cursor, and I took my rules from Cursor and actually just pasted them in here. And when I did that, things started getting much better. So I really recommend you do that. So it's the same thing with these models. You can just let them go off and do their own thing, but it's best if you kind of control them. And there's other stuff down here you can play around if you like. But let's just look at the architect mode, because that obviously is very different. Now it says you're an experienced technical leader, inquisitive, an excellent planner. Goal is to gather information and such forth. So I didn't put anything else here. It's actually put some stuff in itself. So we'll see in a minute how that kind of works. Okay. So let's say done. Okay, and let's really get it going. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over into the right-hand side so I can actually see my code here. And let's just make that a little bit smaller. Okay, great. So as I said, I'm going to actually work on building a game called Breakout. And now you see here, I'm in architect mode. Okay, I can change it. And also here, I've got this auto approve, rewrite, execute browser. You can click on that and you can see that. You can change it. And I'm going to put this prompt in, create a clone of the game Breakout using Next.js. Now, I don't know if all you guys know what Breakout is, but hopefully, if this is successful, you'll be able to see in a minute. So it's architect mode. Now, the first thing is you've got this little kind of thing here. It says enhance prompt with additional content. And this is good, because is this enough? And you might have seen this when I was doing working on a product requirements document where I used Claude to help me write that. This is kind of a little bit the same. So if I just click on that, let's see what it comes back with. Cool, great. So you can see here, it's really put a lot more stuff. Now it says develop a comprehensive Breakout game using Next.js. And it says it must be rendered in an HTML canvas within a React component. And there's a lot more details here, as you can see. Now, you can read this through. You can make changes. You can do whatever you want, really. But that's kind of cool. I like this. So now that's the prompt. So basically, Roo Code has taken my very simple prompt and made it much more a much bigger prompt with many more details. So I can send that off to the models now and see what happens. Now over here, it says it's doing an API request. That means it's actually sending information to the model via OpenRouter. And here it goes. And here it's coming back with its feedback. Okay, so let's just go up here. Now, the first you notice up here is that unlike Cursor, it tells you how much I'm spending. So this is really interesting. It actually tells you how much each request costs and your total. So my total up to now has been 4 cents. Now Cursor doesn't give you this information because Cursor charges you a flat $20 per month fee. And that can actually be good value if you do a lot of vibe coding where it costs you a lot more. I think what Cursor does though to stop you spending too much money is it somehow limits the number of requests you can do because obviously they have to kind of pay the model providers. But I think it's kind of cool that it shows this information. So anyway, so this is an exciting project. Great, yeah, Breakout game, clone is a classic and building with Next.js and Canvas will be a great demonstration of modern web technologies. Before I draft, I have a few questions aligned with your vision. And then he comes back with some questions. Okay, please clarify points above so I can create the best possible plan for your Breakout game. Use Tailwind, focus on yes, yes, use yes. I'll leave the choice to you. Let's do and understand the focus. I'm going to just say, that's all fine. Please proceed. Okay. Okay. Let's see what it does now. So it's doing some more API requests to the model. So it's really showing you what's going on behind the scenes. Again, as I said, tools like Cursor kind of hide this from you, whether you want to know or not. I don't know. So here, it's kind of done a detailed plan here. It's writing a detailed plan. And which is great because now you've got documentation that you can actually save and use later. So it actually says here, are you happy with this plan? Because it wants me to review it. So I'm not going to sit here and read all this plan, but it looks pretty good actually. So are you satisfied with this plan? Should we define exact? I can say here, I've got some responses. The plan looks good. Let's make the brick layout configurable constant. The plan is excellent. No changes needed. I need to refine the component structure slightly. Can we elaborate more on the collision detection logic? So, you know, you can really work with it. But let's kind of just say, the plan is excellent. No changes needed for the brick layout yet. We can use default, make it configurable later if needed, which is the quickest way to get going. So let's just click that one. Okay. So it's asking if I'd like to write this plan out to a markdown file. Okay. Or no, let's just get going. So of course, if I was doing real proper vibe coding, I would obviously want to keep this plan for later and I can then use it as documentation. I want to just show you that so far we've spent 13 cents on this to get to this point, which is pretty good actually. So I'm going to say not necessary. I have the plan here. So yes, good. So let's do that. Okay, we have a solid approved plan. Okay, now look what's there. Now that the planning phase is complete, I recommend we switch to the code mode. The code mode will take the detailed plan and begin the implementation of your breakout game. Shall I proceed with requesting the mode switch? And I can either approve or reject it. So down here you see it says architect. So obviously I'm going to approve this because I want to start implementation. I click the approve and you see it immediately changes to code mode here. And off we go. Okay, great. So it's opened a terminal window down here and it's starting to install stuff and it needs my input. So I'm just going to hit return to take the default. And you can see it says proceed while running or kill command. I don't really know why it's doing that. I mean, I think we need to let it finish. So I'm just going to kind of leave it to get on with it at the moment. And you can see on the left-hand side that it's starting to create files. So yeah, so it's created the base files and off it goes. Let me just bring this, make this a little bit smaller. And it's starting to write code. I think we can close this one. Okay, you can see a bit better what's going on. So yeah. And you can see it's starting to rack up a bit more money here now, up to 28 cents, but that's still pretty good. And I just let it go, carry on. So this is where coffee or Red Bull is needed while it's doing its thing. You got to drink something. So I just going to have a bit more coffee if you don't mind. Okay, there you go. It's finished. Now I did actually pause the video and run ahead a bit. So I think that took me just under, or took Roo Code just under 10 minutes to create that. And now it's running in the browser. So let's see if it works. And here it is. So it says press space or click to start. Or oh yeah, look, I'm moving my mouse and it's moving the ball. Oh, and there you go. And wow, that seems to work. This is amazing. It's really smooth. Let's just see if the lives, yep, now I've got 2 lives left. So that's pretty good. And then, how do I stop it? Don't know if maybe we just die, I guess. 1 more life left. And there you go. Game over, final score 240. Click R or click to restart. That's awesome. So let's just stop it running, kill the command, and there you go. So if you see up here now, that cost $1.95 to write, which is pretty good actually, because I'm sure if you ask the developer to write this, it would take a lot longer and cost a lot more. So there you go. That's Roo Code. It's pretty good. I would say the big downside to it would be cost, because, okay, I've spent nearly $2. That's not much, but that was 10 minutes work. If I was using this all day, I'm going to rack up quite a large bill. Compared to Cursor, which is only $20 per month, and it doesn't matter how much you use it, I think I'm probably going to stick with Cursor for now, but this looks quite interesting, so I'm going to keep an eye on Roo Code. So thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a like if you did, or subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.